Bear, bear, bear.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome back to Like I Was Saying with
Your girl, Velvet.
and FeBaybeee.
Hopefully y'all are having a great week, and had a great weekend. That's the most important part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, how was your weekend?
Ooh. Velvet came with me to do a little plant shopping.
Why'd you put your hands on your boobs like that?
Because I just wanted to touch them. Is that okay with you?
Do what you do.
I didn't individually cut them. My boobs are close to my heart, and that's where I was trying to touch was my heart.
I don't think that they got that.
Them things just be there. You gotta do something with them sometimes.
I don't got none, so we good.
You gotta do something with them sometimes. But yes, I wanted some new plants.
A lot.
And we took a trip in our not so little rocket ship.
Really?
And I got 2 new plant babies.
Yeah.
And then one of them that I already had, I replanted this weekend. I got to put my fingers in the dirt and replant it. I don't know what it's been I've found like a weird, I'm not going to say weird because I appreciate what it is. I found like a self-care in having plants here recently, probably over the last like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years. I don't know what she's saying. I don't appreciate whatever it is you're saying. Let me look what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
And I've really just appreciated it. And then just getting plants just makes me feel good. I think watching them grow is what's really nice. Because I've always been piss poor with plants, like horrible with them. And so I've been able to like have them, keep them. They stay thriving and growing. I'm like, I did that. That's a sense of accomplishment. She's trying to take my joy off my plants. All we do is good with my plants.
Enjoy all of the plants in the world.
So that was my weekend. Was there anything else?
Bunch of plants.
Plants. And then I low-key copped one yesterday too when I went grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Yes, which might eliminate, because usually every week I go to the grocery store, like I pick up a thing of flowers to have in the house. And I might just stop spending extra money on flowers every week and just have a plant that sits. Because I like to keep it inside like my common area, my island in my kitchen. So maybe I'll just do like one plant. I might rotate my plants out and have one plant every week inside the common area versus spending like $10, $15 every week on flowers to have. I just really enjoy it. I don't know why. Last year and a half, plants have really become like something that just bring me joy to look at.
I'm happy that you found something that brings you joy.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? How was your weekend?
I don't like plants. I just really... But I went with FeBaybeee anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And she did plant shopping, and I looked around, and yep.
Place we went to is Plant House, by the way.
Yes, in Virginia Beach, Virginia. What else did I do? I hung out. I don't even know. All my days just feel like they go together. I'm trying to think what else I did. I enjoyed some great Mexican food. Had some taco. And
oh yes, I was with you when you had the Mexican. I was shocked. When you blank on what you do, I'm just like, what did we do besides get plants? We had Mexican. We had these like really amazing deep fried. It's like cheese and pico inside of a tortilla that was deep fried. Who knew? It was like a Mexican like mozzarella stick.
Yeah. So it was good. So that was a highlight outside of the plants. And then I'm just playing. And then hung out with another one of my friends, and we had.
You have a friend that's not me?
Go away.
Are you serious? You have more friends?
Yes.
When were you going to tell me?
I have plenty of them. Now, I really don't have plenty of friends, but I have plenty of associates. I hung out with one of my friends, and we had. Then what the hell is it?
Little Bit Nola?
Yes, a little bit Nola. I was trying to think of the name of Little Bit Nola, which is like New Orleans type food. So I got
so good.
Jambalaya,
which I'm finna steal
with
some
crawfish,
of it.
shrimp, sausage. What else I have in it? Of course, I had rice and vegetables and stuff. So that was delicious, and I got it spicy. So that was good. And it comes with cornbread. I only had like a little bit, but yes. My friend got this crawfish. What's it called?
Po' boy.
Baby. And it looked so good because I don't eat a lot of bread. I really wanted to take a bite. Y'all have no idea. When they were eating it, I just really wanted to like a dog. Because it looked so good and it was so crunchy. Like when they bit it, I was like, dang, that sounds good. Oh my God, I just wanted to eat it so bad. But I held my ground and didn't have it. And I was very proud of myself. But in my head, I just was like, you know what? I'm going to steal a bite.
I'm proud of you, though.
Yes, it's hard.
That's a hard one. A little bit Nola, all their stuff is so good. So I'm very proud of you for keeping your willpower.
But the crunch, literally, the crunch be getting me.
I don't know how they do it.
The crunch is literally it. Because even like when you get fish and stuff, like, you know, if you have fried fish and stuff, you want it crunchy. You don't want it like soft. So the crunch is always important. And when he bit it, and it shit, like, you heard, I was like, ooh, okay. And then he put an extra sauce on it, and I was like, ooh, it looked good. Ooh, it looked so good. So, yes. So I was sad that I didn't get to bite it, but it looked like it was good.
Yes. Yes, for a good food weekend.
Yes.
And trying new places. Have you had a Little Bit Nola before?
I don't think so, but I feel like I've heard of it before, but I can't remember if I've actually eaten there, so I don't know.
Yeah, the Mexican place we went to was Margarita Grill.
Yeah,
so we tried a whole bunch of new places this weekend and they were good. Nice little local spot, so support your local businesses.
Exactly, we surely did this weekend, and then I got to write some, so that was good.
How's that coming?
Get back into writing because sometimes my brain is not there; it just does not happen. So I got to do some writing and made, you know, a little bit of trinkets and stuff that I'm working on. And yeah.
More to come on that.
Yeah, so that's about it. Okay. Not really relaxing, I don't think. I feel like I was busy.
Yeah, every weekend I feel like we tell ourselves, like...
We're going to chill?
Yeah.
At all.
I feel like... And then 9 times 10, the worst part about it, the days we say we're going to relax and chill, we be together.
I saw you every day this weekend.
Yeah. Yes. Friday too?
Saturday,
Sunday, yeah. I'm surprised I'm on Friday too.
Well, almost was. Remember? Because you were over here at your friends. And you're supposed to come through.
Oh, yeah! I was supposed to see her Friday too! And if it wasn't for those plans, I probably would have been here! It's a problem, guys.
It is. I think she's addicted to me. You know, Orla did.
I'm addicted to. I really liked that song. Ryan Leslie.
Yes.
That wasn't Cassie. What was that? Was that Cassie? No, that was another.
I don't know. It's on my phone. I got it. So.
That was a really good song back in the day. Whatever happened to him?
You know,
he had a nice voice.
Things happen.
I think he does like writing more. I think that was like his debut as like a singer when he does like actual writing in the background for folks. So, but it's a nice little, nothing too crazy. Nice little weekend. I met so one of my friends, she has a wee bittle baby, and I got to see it for like the first time. Him for the first time, and he turned 4 weeks yesterday.
Oh wow, new baby.
New baby. It's just so interesting to see a first time parent with their child, and just to see little babies just be babying. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
She said baby.
Babies be babying.
What?
See, that sums all that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, in other recent news, Oscars. Oscars, so, happened on Sunday night.
Yes.
Sunday night.
Yeah. I don't even know. Someday. All my days are together, y'all. I just don't even know. I don't know what today is. I don't know what yesterday was. It's a day of the week.
But we're here.
Yes. We are here. Faithfully.
For
every
the
week.
people.
Yes. So the Oscars. Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different, one of the things that you and I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the wins was Daniel Kaluuya and Best Supporting Actor for Judas and the Black Messiah. And we had a conversation about why was
he in the supporting and not the lead.
Lead, yes. So not only was Daniel in supporting, Lakeith as well for both the same movie and supporting actor. And one of the things that I had heard that essentially production companies do, studios do, is they have the option, regardless if you're like the technical lead of the movie or not, they have the option to submit you for nomination of lead or supporting. And depending upon who is in the nominations for the lead, they might put you in as supporting because you have a better odds of winning. So, for example, the entire Oscars were built around Chadwick Boseman this year. You know, he recently passed, and he was,
and he didn't even win.
Yeah. So he was being tagged to win, anything that he was in, and he did have his name in for leading actor, best leading actor in one of his. So they didn't put Lakeith or Daniel Kaluuya inside of leading actor nomination and supporting instead. That way they had a better chance of winning, which Daniel did.
But I feel bad for Lakeith because I feel like if Daniel was in the lead, Lakeith would have won the supporting.
Yeah.
So it's like, dang, it helps, I guess, you as the person creating the movie because you want to get as many as you can, but still, like, you took it away from Lakeith, I feel like.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if you have those two against each other, you know that Daniel's going to win based on just the role itself.
So I felt kind of bad for Lakeith because I definitely think he should have won. And I think Daniel should have won too. I feel that Chadwick should have won.
Right.
Whoever won, which was Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins won for a role that he played when it was upsetting for everybody was that the entire Oscars was built around Chadwick pretty much. And everyone it's essentially like the best actor award was his to win.
And he didn't.
And he didn't. Someone who hasn't, I don't think Anthony Hopkins has won one in almost 2 decades, an Oscar. And he paid homage to him. And Anthony Hopkins wasn't even physically there. I mean, you could tell that's how much he didn't anticipate to win it. He wasn't even at the Oscars when this happened.
So, how are the people chosen?
So, I think they're nominated and voted for by the people who are part of the SAG committee. Yeah, the Screen Actors Guild people.
So they're nominated by these people, and then also.
So actually, I'm sorry. So they're nominated by the production company. They're submitted by the actual the house that pushes the movie, I think. And then those who vote on it are a part of SAG, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think Daniel. I'm happy that Daniel won, but I feel like they should have put him in lead. And I feel like even if you had lost to Chadwick, that's still something, but that takes it again away from Lakeith because I don't think Daniel should have been in that category. That's just my opinion. I understand the reasoning of why they do it, but that's taken away from someone else that had a really great performance.
And who truly was a supporting actor.
Exactly. Like that, he did a phenomenal job. So, that's just my opinion on that.
I definitely so we mentioned before, H.E.R got herself a couple Grammys, and then we said then that on top of that she was nominated for an Oscar.
And baby, did she win it or did she win it for the same movie we were just talking about with for Fight for You? Like awesome.
Came through.
You better go ahead, baby. Do the damn thing.
Go ahead and get you an Emmy. What do they have to be a they need an Emmy and what else? A Grammy, an Oscar, an Emmy. And there's one other.
I don't pay attention.
Girl, go ahead.
I don't know. But I hope you get all of them.
Yes, go ahead. And she's so relatively new in her career. That's
coming
awesome.
Through.
Yes,
coming through, winning it.
Yes,
for the Black Queens. I got to put that out there.
Yes,
winning it, loving it. And she gorgeous. Put that out there too.
I love that you see like her little like.
Yes.
So in some pictures it looked like a violet-ish purple, and some of it looked like a deep blue. Like her pictures that she took herself with her team looked like bluish, and then the pictures that like they posted like she took on the red carpet looked kind of like a violet purple.
I think I thought it was like blue, but also my eyes.
I could be colorblind too.
Yeah.
But she looked amazing. She looked more like this like lace.
It was gorgeous.
Pantsuit type thing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Very, very appropriate. Loved it.
Every bit of it.
Absolutely.
So I'm very happy. Congratulations, boo. Congratulations.
She doing big things.
Yeah.
Now, while we mentioned that Chadwick had Best Leading that he did not get, there was Viola Davis.
Love her.
Yes.
And every fucking thing she plays in.
Absolutely. As well as Audra Day were both in running for Best Actress. Lead actress, specifically. And neither of them won. So Viola Davis was up for...
Mama Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yes, Mama's Rainey Black Bottom. And then Andra Day was up for the United States versus Billie Holiday. And there were a lot of conversation that one of these ladies has to. Like, there's no question.
And they didn't. Not one of them.
No.
Interesting.
The lead from No Man's Land won.
I haven't seen
versus them.
I don't know what it's about.
Me neither, but there's like a lot of...
They won a lot of awards. That's who won for the... they won a lot of awards for the Oscars.
Best Picture?
Yeah, couple of them.
They won. They pretty much swiped as well.
Yeah. I'm about to see what it's about because, I don't know. A lot of things that Viola playing, I'm always voting for her anyway. If it's between Viola and, what is her name? Literally in my head. She played Tina Turner, and I can't think.
Angela Bassett.
If one of them are up, baby, that's who I'm going for. If they was up against
hasn't won any. I just saw a post recently that Angela hasn't won any.
Interesting. It's just crazy. Because
Angela
be fucking killing it. And she looked gorgeous, too.
Ooh.
Oh, my. She always looked gorgeous.
Still the fuck good.
You understand me? And sometimes we get on my nerves like, damn, bitch. Like, what? I need to get on your program.
Ooh.
Because she looks phenomenal, period.
That is life dedication. She plays no games about her physical,
fitness,
mental.
She don't be eating bread. She don't eat. I had looked it up one day because they had like gave her an interview, and I was like, let me see if I can rock this. I think I did it for 3 days. And
she is very rigorous with her stuff.
Yes,
but
she probably can knock a bitch out. You understand? Arms.
I would never,
ever
try her.
And that's crazy that she never won.
Yeah.
But them two, like, if they were in a category against each other, I would just, like, one of them got to win. Just like they said, you think that Chadwick would have won his. Like, you just absolutely, like, them two. I just can't believe she's never won one. But we're talking about Viola. So, yes,
Well, Viola, we saw a video of her faking taking a shot.
Her and her husband are hilarious.
Yes. First and foremost. Love them.
Yes.
But she, on the red carpet prior to the Oscars, took, like, she was, imagine taking a shot. Fake glass, there was no liquid.
Face and everything, like she was.
I was like, that's me! Ugh, burn just like that. I was like, she deserves.
Yes.
She deserves. She just completely faked out an entire shot. All the way. Like, it's not even like she had, like, juice. Like, she had nothing. Held the shot in her hand, took it back. All that.
Yes. So it's just, I've never seen No Man Land, so I don't know how that is, or it may be great. I don't know. Maybe I think that I'm more so like an Issa Rae, what she said a couple years ago. Do you remember what she said? Sue Me. You don't remember? It's even a Wale song. You don't know?
I'm blanking right now.
Sue Me, I'm voting for Everybody That's Black.
Oh, yes. It was an SNL skit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's even a Wale song. Like, he has a song, Sue Me. So, yeah. Absolutely. And that could totally be just my mentality. But, as I said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it be.
Well, Mia Neal and Jamaica Wilson won for Best Makeup and Hairstyle for Ma Rainey's
Black
Bottom. I was like half. I saw Ma and I went with it.
Mama.
Ma
Rainey's Black Bottom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they were the first black women to win in this category.
Awesome. Y'all better fuck it up too, baby.
Break it and keep it coming.
Yes. Sorry.
Break it and keep it coming.
And that was for what?
Best makeup and hairstyle.
Okay. Awesome.
For the movie.
Killing it. And I think they got, I don't know who it was, but for that movie too, they got best outfits, I think, as well.
Wardrobe?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Because they was fly back in those days. You heard.
I haven't seen it, but you've told me really good things about it.
I just didn't like the ending.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll have to watch and find out.
The ending is just I didn't like the way it ended. Is what I should say.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like there was more happening after that, and then when it ended, I said, "Baby, what? That's it? That's all I get? I thought there was gonna be like, and Chadwick did.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. There were some other notable categories. Chloe Zhao.
Mm-hmm,
she was the first woman of color to win Best Director.
Mm.
Second only woman to have won that award.
That's
general.
Crazy.
Yeah, so first woman of color, second woman, period.
How long the Oscars have been out? And only 2 women more.
It's been since prior to the 50s.
That's crazy. And only 2 women since the 1950s.
Probably, yes, 30s, 40s, I'm thinking. So prior to that. So 70 plus years.
Only 2 women have won. And
so obviously the first woman was white, and then the second one was a woman of color.
Interesting. That's crazy.
So it still shows you how much of a dominated field that is by men.
Mm-hmm.
That to be only the second woman to have won it.
Period. So y'all women that want to do that, go ahead and get out there.
Break them barriers, break them ceilings. Absolutely. And then there was Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx for Soul.
Yes, for Soul.
I've never seen it, but I've heard it's really good, so y'all should go watch it.
First black lead for Disney Pixar, and he won a whole Oscar off of it. Yes.
I think he's won an Oscar before, hasn't he?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm guessing so, but he won a whole Oscar off it. So first black lead in a Pixar movie, and he won an Oscar off of it.
Yes, killing it. We breaking barriers out here 2020. Wow.
Love it. Absolutely.
We're going to be up there one day, y'all.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think we can do for
one of them.
I'm trying to think off a podcast. Yeah, if that
Oscars, but it's definitely on one of the things.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one. Oh, it's EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. So I'm trying to remember which one goes up for like a podcast. But anyways, yeah. So you currently have a Tony and an Emmy to win, so you can be an EGOT.
Get on it.
Do it.
Get on it.
Do it. Be like John Legend. John Legend got his. You can do it, baby. But in other news, some things that have transpired since.
Mm-hmm. So there's one thing we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Mm-hmm. But DMX's funeral was over the weekend.
Yes.
And so there was a piece that I wanted to talk about.
Yes.
Which was, I would probably say one of his closest friends, Swiss Beatz. Because I feel like they've always had a close relationship, even during, I'm going to say Earl's, even during like his troubling times and when he was going through a lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like out of all of the people, of course, I don't know. I don't know them of that nature, just based off, of course, what you see and what's out there, which could be a lie. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times, he was still there for him, and other people had dispersed. They're there when you got the money, but when you're going through things, those people leave. So he was talking about you need to make sure that you take care of the people when they're here, and I think that's very important. And I think that's just in general, not just for famous people, actors, whatever it may be. You need to make sure that you're taking care of the people that you truly love and care for while they're here, and stop doing that fake shit when they die or something happens to them and you go post a picture of your cousin that you ain't talked to in 20 fucking years talking about that's one of my fave cousins. Bitch, you ain't talked to them in 20 years. Shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. That irritates me. Mm-hmm. that means you're just a fake motherfucker. But that's just me. And so I really wanted to talk about that because I believe that's very important. You need to make sure that you're showing love to those people, regardless of if they're going through things, they're living their best life, or they're not. You need to either be there for them, show them support in whatever manner. It doesn't mean you have to give them money, but show them support knowing that they know that you are there for them, whether it's just having a conversation, y'all go for a fucking walk, y'all go, play basketball, I don't know, do something, and you showing them that you are actually there for them, and not when they die, you try to say, that was my dog, and I miss him, and blah, blah, blah. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I just had to say that. Because that really irritated me, so much. And I think it's probably, again, because I really love DMX. But also because, if you watch the DMX, when they were going through the Rough Riders, Chronicles and stuff, you could see that a lot of people turned their back on him. And that you could see, and even I like to read people's, the comments on things. And so you could even see through the comments, people was certain people, they weren't for him unless he was doing something for them.
Like a benefit. Yes.
And he literally, no lie, y'all, the company wouldn't have been what they were without DMX, period. That's it. And y'all didn't back him or do what y'all were supposed to do, which could have led him down many other paths. Instead, he went down whatever path, which, if you believe in the Lord, you get your paths, But still, y'all, and then y'all on stage talking about that was blah, blah, blah. We wouldn't be where we were without him. Y'all say that now, but y'all didn't fucking help him.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. At what point do you think that some people are, because I feel like especially once there were rumors surrounding what is called the death, where a lot of people were speculating drugs, that a lot of people were saying, hey, you could have reached out, you could have this, you could have that. Do you almost think that at that point that's almost a savior complex when someone is going through something and it has nothing to do with you, and there's nothing that you could have done because they're battling their own demons? The only people who can really face those and fix those and overcome those are that person. Because that was something I was thinking about a lot when who was Ebro, I think, or maybe academics, was oh, y'all people, y'all could have reached out, y'all could have fixed. Some people, for one, I think it's silly for anyone to blame other people when you're not in that situation, right? To be a person on the outside blaming other people, saying that y'all could have helped him. That's you don't know the circumstances, right? But also flipping and saying could you really have had an impact?
You never know unless you try. So, but did you actually try is the part. Trying and not are two separate things. So if you were going through something and I'm supposed to be your friend, whether it's your best friend or a close friend or whatever, and I'm saying you are my friend and you are on drugs, have I reached out to you? Or even if it wasn't drugs, let's just say that, you're going through some type of mental something. And I'm like, hey, are you good? Did I actually check on you? Or did I just say, oh, it's Maria, she'll bounce, FeBaybeee, she'll bounce back from it, or I'll say, blah, whatever. Did I actually attempt to do something to help my friend? That is the part I'm saying. Did you actually attempt to, or did you just say, oh, that is X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be, and then you reach out to that person though when you need them to help you with whatever. So those are two. So I understand what you're saying, but it's, to me, did you actually try to do something?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of people who did do the whole entire four kind of, I mean, people are still allowed to grieve whether or not they did or did not, I feel like. But I do feel also that, a lot of people look back afterwards and probably felt like they could have checked in more. And there are probably a lot of people who did.
Yeah, there may have been. And there's a lot of people that didn't. But were on that stage saying other shit, and that's the part that I dislike.
Right.
Well, I'm saying, again, I don't know if they did or didn't. I'm just saying you could tell that when Swiss Beatz was talking, that he was talking to the people that were on the stage with him. Because he even said, things shouldn't have transpired the way that it did, and that I'm gonna make sure that his family is good no matter what, which is what I've been doing, period. I'm gonna make sure they're good, and hopefully the people that have been saying that, that he was their dog and all that, that they're gonna actually do the same. So he was talking to the motherfuckers that was on the stage.
Right.
I don't know, but if you listen to what he was saying, he know better than me. Right. So he's obviously saying that y'all weren't doing what y'all saying y'all be doing. So that is the part that irritates me.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, especially with people who go through the battles like he did so publicly prior to their death, there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that come through and seem to be very for that person, but weren't there during their struggles.
Which is the part that I dislike. Because everybody even says, again, never met him, that DMX was probably one of the coolest people you ever meet, and he always gave back to people. So when you give back to people, that drains you. Yes. And so you have to me, I feel like that drains you, but you need to have people that are also giving to you. But when you're getting your life sucked out of you and no one is helping you,
not refilling, you're not
exactly. Yeah. And so that's the problem. You may have that one person replenishing you, but if you're giving to 50 people, that one person is not going to take up for that 50 people.
That is true.
So that is what I'm saying is like, doesn't help, but he keeps giving, or whoever, I'm again just saying in general, keep giving to these people, but I'm not receiving. That drains me. That puts me at a mental capacity that I may not be able to handle, which you could turn to, the Lord, drugs, sex. You could turn to a bunch of different things. All of them. All of them. So, and it's just, that is the sad part, is that when you have a person that's so willing to give, but people aren't willing to give.
Refill, exactly. To fill back up. Absolutely.
Because I've definitely been there. I haven't been on drugs or anything of that nature, but I am a giving person, even though people may say that I'm mean. But truly, if someone is going through something, I am actually there for that person. But when I'm going through things, I feel that I don't get what's needed for me. And so that can be very draining. I have not turned to those other things, but you never know. Shit can happen. I'm not saying it will, but fuck, you never know.
Yeah. That's when people aren't feeling refilled, it definitely puts people obviously at a deficit. And then you just start kind of looking at what your means are.
And don't give a fuck. And that's when you really start not giving a fuck. And then people are like, well, you're so mean and you're not. No, bitch, I just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah. His ride through the city was beautiful, though.
Oh, yeah. Man, I almost cried so bad. I almost cried like a baby. Y'all hear me? I was like, oh my God. Like, for real, if COVID wasn't going on, I'm 99% sure me and my sisters would have been at the funeral. Like, we'd have been there crying like bitches. You heard? Barking and everything.
I'm sure y'all would have.
Yes. And his daughter, oh my God.
Did you see the freestyle?
Yeah. I don't know if it's freestyle or not, but yes. And I was to, damn, what's the song called? I'm Slipping. Yes. So she did a freestyle. And I was like, he's probably up in heaven smiling like a bitch. Like, for real. It was so good. Yeah. She did wonderful.
It's just so, like, it's just so many children lost their father.
Yes. Well, he has 15 children, I think. Yeah. So I think somebody said 17, but I think it's 15. Something like that. Yeah. But yes, a lot of children, and hopefully they'll be able to stick together and stay family, hopefully.
Yeah, it looked like leading up to when they were transporting his body, that was a nice, like, everyone on their motorcycles, found behind the truck, that was a lifted ass truck, lifted as fuck. Like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. It was.
And he loved the city, so I'm glad they were able to do
bring that round. Yeah, full circle.
Yeah. So that was crazy.
So, rest in peace. Unfortunately, there's been still a lot of different speculation behind his passing. I just hope he's able to rest in peace. Yeah. And be able to, again, just be at peace with everything that he was going through. Yeah.
I feel like he would be. Because he went through a lot. And so, regardless if it was drugs or if it was something else, unfortunately, he passed. And now he's at peace and able to be with the person he believed in the most, the Lord. So. Absolutely. That was his belief, and that's where it is. So, yeah. But on to crazier things, which also is a happier thing. George Floyd and that whole verdict that occurred, and I am happy about the verdict.
What was the verdict?
Guilty, motherfucker. On all motherfucking counts. And you could tell by his face that he was like, bitch, what?
His eyes just kept looking from the judge to the jury. Judge, jury. You guys, you guilty?
Did this? Yeah.
Guilty?
But
Guilty?
I think that the jury knew, and this is a conversation I had with one of my friends, was that the jury had to decide whether they thought that he was whether they wanted to make him guilty or not. I think they had to be, what is those little things that go up and down when you put stuff on it? What's it called?
Balancing scales.
Is that the name of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was a more difficult name than that.
No, it's a balancing scale.
So, balancing scale, they had to balance out what they thought would be the best for their area, if I'm going to be honest.
Right.
Which was,
because
if
honestly,
we find him not guilty.
Your name comes out after this, FYI, as a juror.
Yes.
Your name is made public.
But could you imagine if it's found not guilty, how that area would have turned all the way up the fuck down, around, flip, dip, and around the corner. Around the motherfucking country.
Right.
And if they found him guilty, how would that be? He was guilty, period, and they should have just found him guilty because of that. But again, me and my friend were having a conversation, and we both agreed that the reason the jury found him guilty was because they had to weigh the pros and the motherfucking cons. And they said, you know what? The con of us not saying guilty is going to be way heavier than the pros. So they went and they did the right motherfucking things. I'm just letting you know, shit would have went south. He was guilty, but shit would have went south. Period.
I mean, because here's the other thing. When it comes to, like, court cases, especially such high profile as this one for a murder case, is usually they try to have and select jurors that have not been impacted by the media.
But there's nowhere.
Right.
Nobody.
That's the main thing. Like, so when, usually they, ones that are not as obviously high profile as this, they try to have them not be swayed by sensationalism, where essentially the media does X, Y, Z. But obviously in this was breaking from the moment that it happened. Exactly. Everyone knew it.
Exactly.
So your opinion's made the moment you see the videos, the witnesses' statement, everything. And then all the statements that were given by bystanders that were there, experts, it was irrefutable. And what I do think, based on the conversation that you and your friend had, for one, whether or not this was made out of genuine evidence was presented, this is a decision that you're making based on the evidence.
Which was guilty.
We've been, like, the justice system, Black people have been through this XYZ amount of times. You have not had a conviction yet of an officer slaying a Black man. And if you were to rule not guilty, what that would look like, I think that those go absolutely hand in hand. I think the evidence was irrefutable. I think evidence has been irrefutable in the past, and they've still provided a non-guilty verdict. But I think that with the amount of exposure, especially social media now playing that role, with this versus the ones, all the murders that we've had in the past, the play of the social media, what's going on in our climate in general as a country, if they would have came back anything other than, and he has, his sentencing is June 16th. June 16th is his, I
wonder what's going to happen with that.
Yes. So I think his, like, I want to say his minimal is like maybe 40 years.
He's not going to have fun in jail.
Yeah. They're going to have to put him in maximum. There's no gin pop for his ass. No. And apparently as the moment they put him in, because they took him into custody right then and there. Like, there was no bail. There was no nothing. They took him into custody right then and there. And for the bullshit, I didn't put in some suicide watch. Like, sir, you did what you did. And you made your bed. You now have to lie in it.
And I think the officers that were there as well should be put up for some as well.
2 or 3 more officers that were there, at least 2.
Should be go ahead as well, because you did not do what your job was, which is not to help out in that sense your colleague. You're supposed to be fighting for the people, which is that gentleman that was laid on that ground that was not breathing. Absolutely. And so, in that, you were also guilty. So they need to go ahead and round him up and go ahead and keep on moving. And then add to it, that girl that shot that boy that said she thought she put out a taser. Go ahead, add her to that thing as well. Yep. Go ahead. Line them on up.
After our last podcast that we talked about, she'd been in the force for like 26 plus years.
Yeah, don't mean no God.
And then we learned that a general gun is on one side, taser's on the other side. So it's not like you were grabbing, like maybe they were in the same vicinity. They're on completely different sides.
But even if they were in the same vicinity, they are two different weapons.
All of those things are absolutely correct.
You put the gun up to you, which is here, in your foresight. So if you can't see from this angle to here, then baby shouldn't be officer, period. You may get your eyes checked. You see?
And something that I learned is that right afterwards, she sent in a letter and resigned versus being fired. I did not understand there are different repercussions for you, or there are different things that they're able to do if you resign versus them firing you.
Well, you can still...
There's like benefits, things like that,
yes.
That if she resigns versus
she
being fired, she still keeps.
Yes.
Which I think that is something that definitely needs to be revised. I think that's bullshit. Because she resigned for an investigation she is currently under. I don't think that the moment someone goes under an investigation for an action that they've taken, I think that should suspend their ability to resign from their position.
Yeah. So I think that, like, if she does end up going to court and stuff, that may change it, though. So
right. And hopefully, because it's not fair. Regardless of what the outcome is, I sincerely hope she gets convicted of what she did, found guilty just like him. But in general, I think there needs to be a revision made to that. I don't think that you should be able to actively resign during an active investigation on something that's happened.
Yeah, you should be put on that leave, is what they say.
Unpaid.
Unpaid leave. Until the investigation complete, and then depending on the investigation, they may pay you back, they may not. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. So while that was, I'm hopeful with this, it sets a precedent for other cases that come behind it. It's unfortunate that you already have ones that you're like Dawn said, you already have ones like, well, this just happened, she's next. It's very unfortunate. It's
very sad.
Unfortunately, the same day as George Floyd's verdict for his case, a young lady by the name of Ma'Khia Bryant was
teenager
within a couple hours. She was somewhere between the age, I've heard between 14 to 16. So I'm not entirely sure on her age, but she was gunned down by an officer that was responding to her call
and
for
I
help.
think her sister called as well.
So apparently, from what
is being told,
has been provided, she lives in a foster home, and she was engaged in a fight with one of her sisters from the foster home. And apparently she was aware that there was going to be some type of physical altercation that transpired between herself and another individual. She equipped herself with a knife because she was aware this was going to happen. She wanted to have some type of self-defense. And she called the police for help. From the video that I saw, I did not watch the extent of which she was shot. But leading up to, if I'm not mistaken, I saw other cop cars already there, other officers already on the scene. The particular officer that showed to the scene immediately got out their vehicle, did not ask any questions, began to shoot on sight. Immediately shooting rounds that disarmed and killed her. And again, asked zero questions and just stated that the knife that was in her hand, for some reason, he felt harmed. Now, mind you, also, this is an ex-military person who was a marksman in the military, so trained to kill, execute. So keep all of these items in mind. So someone who's being trained as such prior to police, you would know what shots you're making to kill somebody. And you took those shots at a teenager who simply asked for your assistance because of the danger that she was in. So
there's been a lot of back and forth in relation to people's comments on how they believe it should have been handled. So one question was, asked, which was, I'm going to ask you, and then, I'll give my answer. So if you were approaching your house and the girl with the knife was not your daughter, but the girl that she was approaching was your daughter, how would you have wanted the officer to respond? So if your daughter was the one up against the car and the girl is still Miss Bryant with the knife, how would you have wanted either yourself to respond? Like, how would you have responded to that? or how would you have wanted the police to respond if your daughter was the one getting approached with a knife?
I think a non-lethal measure, like a taser, would be what I would prefer to be used against her, to disarm her, to disrupt what she's doing, to throw her off balance. But to kill her, no matter what was going on in that situation, I have seen coming up as a teenager situations just as like that unfold, just as violent, with knives and things like that between people. And yes, no one can fully understand the story as to what brought her to that point. We only know what is being told to us as to why she was armed in that way. But that situation does not dictate her being a person that needs to be killed for those actions. It just simply doesn't. And the fact that he arrived and no questions, not a single question was asked, and there was no action taken to try to de-escalate the situation prior to, I would feel as, just as I'm the parent, as the person she's being accused of attacking, as a parent, I would think, again, I'm not a parent, so I can only think of this coming from a place of what I would think I would do. She's a child as well. I wouldn't want a child to be killed off of that momentary action.
Especially if she was defending herself. Well, in general, but especially...
Again, the reports are she's defending herself in that situation. The girl who she was defending herself against, she was actively coming after her. But again, as a parent, I would think that, because even if for any way you wanted to flip-flop and say that she was the aggressor, she doesn't deserve that. Like, you make poor decisions, especially in childhood, between 14 to 16, whoo, boy, you make horrible decisions. That does not require your life.
So, I 100% agree.
Right.
Me having a child, if my son was, fighting somebody or whatever it may be, and they had pulled out a knife, then if I approached it, then I probably would have came up and popped the little kid. I ain't gonna front. You can pop.
I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying.
In the face.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I probably would have came up and hit him.
Right.
So you getting the fuck away from my child.
Right.
But if it was the officer, I definitely think other things could have happened, which taser would have been one, especially because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So you got a call because they're stating, these people are trying to beat me up, X, Y, and Z. So you don't know who the aggressor is, truly. So you shot the you shot the person defending themselves instead of the aggressor. Is that not what occurred? If everything is what's being said is true, you shot the person defending themselves.
Right.
And not the aggressor.
Right.
And so that, instead of just tasing them, which is why you have one,
right,
you could have done that. Should be used first, and then if that did not disarm the person, because depending on if the person's on drugs or not, sometimes they just keep going. So if the taser did not work and they were not able to subdue the person, then the gun is supposed to be used at the last resort. That was first resort, not last.
I mean, I feel like you see time and time again, obviously, with people who are not of color, white people specifically, white people only who are not people of color, but white people, you see them all the time being able to de-escalate these situations or run away without having to use this type of violence against people, this lethal violence against people.
Interesting.
Like, it is like he, at no point did he ask him questions. At no point did he try to use his body to intervene. At no point did he use a taser. At no point did he do anything besides pull the gun out.
He said like a sentence, but I couldn't really. It sounded like you couldn't really hear what it said. So I was like, if she's in it, she's not hearing what the fuck you talking about in the back.
No.
So I don't even know what he said. I couldn't even understand what he was saying. So I think he was trying to say put down whatever, but I don't think you could clearly hear that. And I was like, she didn't know who the fuck he was. So I don't know. What?
So you brought up a good pivot point in terms of, if you were a parent, what would you want? So something that was notated is the officer showing up to the scene. There were a bunch of adults there, essentially watching all of this unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody intervening the entire. Yeah. Like, how do you reason with yourself that you watched all of this happen, all of this unfold, and at no point did you try to put a stop to it?
So the thing is, if two kids are fighting, I can't really say that I'm going to jump in. It depends on what it is, if I'm going to be honest. Like, if it's my son fighting and it's been this boy or person that's been bullying him this whole time, I need my son to be able to stand up for himself because there's going to be people doing that. So that's just me, and maybe it's just the way that I was raised. I'm not going to tell my son, go out there and fight somebody. But if someone is coming up to you and they are, whatever, and try to punch you, you need to defend yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's what I teach them to this day, defend yourself. If someone was to bring out a knife, that is absolutely when I would have hopped in. And even if it was my son, if you don't, I probably would have said bleepity bleep bleep bleep. I ain't gonna say it on here, and some other stuff. Put that knife down before I beat your ass myself. Hell no. If you lost the fight, you lost the fight. Period. And if the person put out a knife, I probably said, I wish a motherfucker would. Don't make me put my hands on your ass. Don't make me. Mm-hmm. And you better carry your ass. Your ass got beat by my son. Oh, the fucking well.
Right.
And get the fuck over it. That's just how it is. But nowadays, it's like, back in the day, you got in a fight, you got your ass whipped, you didn't, whatever it was, and that's it. Now it's like, oh, now because I lost, I'm going to have to kill you. No, bitch, get the fuck over it. Learn how to fight better. I don't know what to tell you. If it's a gang thing, like it's one person against 10 people, that's a whole different story. I'm definitely intervening. Like, no, if it's supposed to be Billy against Bob over here, then Billy and Bob need to fight. Why the fuck is all your other people over here trying to drunk this person? Mm-hmm. That's not how it's supposed to be. But people nowadays that grow up in this era for some reason is this word. It starts with a P, and I think it's a 5-letter word. Ooh. Ends with a Y, I think.
Why? Yankee?
No, I said start with a P.
Ends with a Y.
Yes, it ends
Yankee? With a... Why is it Yankee?
I can't. You know what that word is?
Doodle. If it's up, then it's up. Broke boys don't deserve no pussy.
Yes, that word there. Pussy. And that is irritating. Yes. So that is very irritating to me. And this day and age, it literally is what they go to is a physical object. You get your ass beat, you get your ass beat. But anyway, sorry.
I mean, it's kind of like just like, and it's kind of funny to bring it up, but like in the movie Friday, like he wanted to shoot the fair one with the fist and the other man Devo brought the gun. Mm-hmm. But that's just not how people don't play it fair. And that's what would terrify me. So I don't think I've ever thought any form of like shooting that fair one was ever a good idea. Mm-hmm. Because 9 times out of 10, nothing gets resolved at the end of that fight.
Exactly.
Because there's always something that follows up. So I can't say I don't discredit and I don't have any issue how anybody else decides to resolve it. Like you allowing your son to kind of prove where he's at so that he doesn't get fucked with again. But we know people don't let sleeping dogs lie afterwards nowadays. And that's what's scary. Like, yeah, your son could dominate in that fight, but then because the person's got their pride hurt afterwards, there's issues afterwards. And it's just things that you have to think about. Yeah.
And you would also have to think about if your child, if they continue to be bullied, then that person can still kill them. If that person's beating up on your child and your child ain't doing nothing, he can still kill them that way. So do you want your child to be able to at least stand up for themselves and hopefully nothing transpires and hopefully the other parent taught their child that just because you got your ass beat, it ain't the end of the world? Or do you want your child to get his or her face beaten every single day because they go to school and then either they turn around and go shoot up the school or they turn around and kill themselves or they still can get harmed by the person? So it's really difficult. It is. Being a parent is hard as fuck because you have to figure out which decision makes the most sense. Yeah. And I just tell my son, you have to be able to defend yourself. Not using any weapons. If someone comes to you, I always tell them, first thing you say is you need to back up. I'm not with the shits. he don't even say that part, but that's basically the gist of it. I'm not with it. And if they try to put their hands on you, you defend yourself and you call mommy, and mommy will be there.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Absolutely.
And I wish a motherfucker would say something past that point. So it's just, it just depends on how you teach your children, and you hope that other people teach their children something similar, or don't teach them to get a gun and whatever the fuck else. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know how we got into that, but anyway.
I mean, no, because it's a real thing, because it goes between one, what would you have? Because I guess I'm not sure if you've heard something different than I heard. From my understanding, is they were all in the same foster home.
Yes, and apparently some were adults. Is what
there were adults watching, but the two people involved in the actual altercation, to my understanding,
were children
inside the foster home together.
So I think that's where a lot of the things are getting confused, because apparently it is the foster parent. This is one story being told, that the foster parent called some other people to fight the foster child.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you haven't heard that story?
I heard. So what I did, so I didn't want to, so I guess.
That's, again, I have no idea, but that's what's being told. So I heard
the father was there in observance of what was going on.
The father of the Miss Bryant.
I don't know if it's so here's the thing. I know the foster mother, I think, is who spoke out on Ma'Khia's behalf, talking about how, honest and helpful and nurturing
the foster mother
was. Yes.
The one that called the...
My understanding is Ma'Khia is who called the police.
No, who called the adults. That's what I'm saying. That's the story being told, is that the foster parent called adults to come fight this teenager. Is one of
I haven't heard that one.
Yes, that's what's being, unless I'm reading it incorrectly, that is one of the stories being told, is that the foster parent, or it may have just been a parent, and maybe I'm just adding foster because she lives in foster, but a parent or a mother, specifically said mother called people because Miss Bryant was being something, probably just a teenager, and maybe says, I don't know, but called people, which were other adults, to come and fight this teenager, is what one of the stories is told. So that part is stupid as fuck. Why are you having... So again, we don't know the true story, because again, you heard something different. I read something different.
I'm sorry that she had to feel like she had to defend herself in that manner.
Yes.
That is the sad part. Regardless of who, whether it was a foster sibling, whether it was a parent, whether it was adults that you're mentioning, that is just ridiculous. And my heart goes out to that is what she
had to go through.
And that's what she died doing. Defending herself with a knife, no less. Mm-hmm. Like, she felt so much fear for her life that she brought a knife with her. That speaks volumes for someone to bring a weapon with them for the threat that they're under. Yeah. So it's just so sad. Most people obviously feel fear as they die if they know that that death is imminent. But she felt that for a while prior to, because she was fighting for her life prior to all this going on. Yeah.
And I'm quite sure she probably got in a bunch of fights with whoever these people are before too.
I'm sure. This is just the first thing that came to
It is very sad. She's a teenager, and apparently, even if she wasn't good in school, she was they said that she was really good. And she had great grades and all of that. So she had a very bright future. And now it has ended because of an officer that shot her several times.
Based on a lot of things all the speculation that we're hearing, it sounds like there was a lot of things that failed her.
Yes.
Coming up, which is just
her parents.
Her parents.
The adults that were around. When that knife came out, someone should have stopped.
It's just sad, because I watched the videos that they posted, TikTok videos.
I have not.
I watched TikTok videos.
Videos. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
The ones that she made, and she just seemed like obviously you only get so much from a person inside of a video that they post, but like she just seemed like a normal teenager. Like, she seemed really cute, spunky. Like, it's just sad to see that memorialized in those videos. That's what they have of her now. It's just...
Well, hopefully the truth will come out, and whoever those adults were that were around.
It sounds like there's a full investigation. There's an investigation on the officer who killed her, and then whatever living situation she had, a full-blown investigation needs to be had. I hope
so, and hopefully those people get locked the fuck up if they were not doing what they were supposed to be doing, because y'all did that person wrong. She was a child, and now she will never see her next birthday. because y'all didn't do what y'all were supposed to do as the foster care parent. Y'all also take oaths when y'all become foster parents.
Exactly.
And y'all did not do what y'all were supposed to do. So y'all should go ahead and be right under there because y'all basically attributed to her death as well.
Yes.
So
there were a lot of people who this could be. A lot of people need to look internally at what happened in that situation.
Yeah. All them people that were standing around. Like I said, if two people, I'm going to be honest, if it was just two kids fighting, I can't say that I would jumped in until a knife was brought out because then you're doing too much. But if y'all just fighting, y'all fucking fighting. Kids are going to fight regardless. But I would have absolutely stopped it when the knife came out. I'm like, boo, put a knife up. It is not, you don't need to do that because that's going to put you in jail. Period. And you, whatever, if it was adults, I would have jumped in. Like, why the fuck is you fighting this child? That don't even make no goddamn sense.
Right.
But if it was two kids, I'm going to be honest, I would let them fight without a knife or any weapons. Go ahead, get all that out so y'all can be friends tomorrow because apparently that's what be happening.
So we'll see. Hopefully the hope is George Floyd's verdict sets a precedent of what these officers should not be doing when responding to scenes. And yes, George Floyd was not murdered by a bullet, which is what we have seen be the trend on how they were murdered. But hopefully that sets a precedent on you have to utilize, there has to be a hierarchy of what you utilize when you are trying to de-escalate a situation or you're trying to reprimand or put somebody in custody. There has to be, because simply reaching for your gun if I'm not mistaken, there is also now an investigation behind the officer. I refuse to learn his name, so do not forgive me if I don't know his name because I don't know it. The officer who's been convicted behind George Floyd, there is now an investigation behind him. I think it's a teenager using the same maneuver similar to George Floyd that he used to the teenager to subdue him. And the teenager himself was saying, like, I can't breathe. It's hard for me to.
The same officer?
Yes. Yes.
And the kid died?
No.
Oh,
no.
Oh, shit.
I think it's like from 2017, 2018. There needs to be, like, there has to be reform. Like, you just can't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
and why are you putting your knee on their neck?
On their neck.
Like, that don't make no goddamn, your whole body on their neck. You obviously know that your neck only holds up one motherfucking thing, which is your head.
And you can't be there for 15 minutes and your body weight not be, there is pressure a certain time frame that you can alleviate your body weight on that, whatever that pinpoint is. But after a certain time, your whole body weight is on
exactly. So why are y'all even teaching that maneuver? That's something that y'all need to think about.
Exactly.
It should not be on the neck. If y'all gonna do it, I've seen it on like the back, like they put their knee in the back or like their leg on the back. I don't really say I like that either, but at least it's not the goddamn neck where I'm trying to fucking breathe. That ain't make no sense. So why is that maneuver being taught? Can someone answer that for me?
Right. I mean, I think that this will also bring forth to light, I think when we discussed previously is where they are trained to shoot. They're trained to shoot at the mass piece of body, the biggest piece. But unfortunately, that piece of body holds your most essential organs too. So those pieces that they shoot are 9 times out of 10 going to not only, disarm that person, they're going to kill them. So hopefully there will be training around, especially the situations that are non-life threatening to them. If for any reason their weapon needs to be drawn, they can go for a non-essential, like a limb. So that way, they can have life afterwards. They can recover from this injury. If for any reason a gun is even warranted.
Yeah.
Even warranted is the asterisk on that. Not saying that every situation a gun was used, it's even warranted, that there are other things they could have gone through. But like...
So what about that little kid? Did we talk about that one? The boy? I think he was Hispanic and he had a gun. He was a teenager. I believe he was a teenager. He had a gun and he... the officer, he had ran, and the officer showed him drop the gun. He dropped it, and the officer still shot him. You know what I'm talking about? No?
I haven't heard of that one.
I wish I could remember his name, and I feel terrible right now.
It's just as a whole, especially when you understand the age that you're dealing with. Like, I wish there's a requirement of what type of force you use.
13-year-old.
13.
He was a Latino boy. And Adam Toledo is his name.
Toledo?
This happened April. I can't remember, but it was beginning middle April, I believe. Because I can't remember if we talked about it.
I'm not seeing a hierarchy of like what they're using to de-escalate the situation before they're using guns. I'm seeing the moment they hop on scene, guns are drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's not appropriate. It's not okay. Did he die?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm quite sure. Yes. So he was running from police, and then he had a gun. The officer told him drop it. He dropped it, and you see in the video you see the hands up, and officer still killed him. And then he goes over to him and said, "Come on, don't die on me. Why the fuck did you even shoot him?"
I just want everyone to know. That's a piece
that doesn't make sense. How are you going to ask me to raise my hand and drop the gun? I do what you ask, and then you still shoot me, but then come over and say, "Oh, don't die on me, bitch. Why the fuck did you shoot me?"
I just want to make sure anybody, and I don't want to speak for Velvet, but I just hope anybody who understands and listens to this podcast does not believe just because you may resist arrest or you may flee, that does not mean that you deserve to die. Because there are too many times when we see that either someone's running from the police or they're evading, that after they're shot and killed, there is something in the comments of where they shouldn't have been fleeing police. They shouldn't have been XYZ.
Oh, yeah. So while we talk about that, because I did want to bring up something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on the lovely face of the book.
Okay. Oh, Facebook. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so, what was I watching? It was actually something to do with the Oscars. And apparently someone had given a speech and they were talking about, Black people. Unfortunately, I think he said 2 or 3 Black people will die today by officers. And tomorrow he said the same thing. And then he said, because on average, X amount of people die. So we break that up. It's about 2 or 3 people. I can't remember exactly the number. So I'm just 2 or 3 people die a day. Mm-hmm. So, again, I like to read comments just to see. My blood pressure had raised a bit because I had saw a comment, and it was what you just stated, which was, they just need to learn how to comply and stop running and, stop committing crimes and blah, blah, blah. And so my blood pressure raised a bit, and then I let it lower before I responded. Because usually I don't respond to these things. But I said, you know what? Today I got time. So I'm going to go ahead. I got the time. What?
So let's get context to this. So did someone repost this that you know? Is this...
No, it was, on Facebook, like at the bottom, they have different videos that pop up and stuff. So the Oscars, it was some type of award. I'm quite sure it was Oscar. Someone at the Oscar was actually saying this. Was that 2 or 3 Black people will die. I'm assuming it was the Oscar. It was some award.
No. I'm sure it's the Oscars. I'm trying to think because there was a movie that Jesse Williams was a part of, and something makes me feel like it was that movie.
So I can't remember. I would have to look it up. But it was a gentleman saying that Black people, Black person will die. 2 or 3 Black people will die every day, from an officer. And they said today, unfortunately 2 or 3 tomorrow, and they just kept saying that, a couple times. And so looking through the comments, there was a Caucasian male first that popped up that said what I just stated, which was, well, they just need to stop running from officers and stop resisting arrest and stop committing crimes and blah, 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 blah. And so I let that be. But then I kept scrolling because other people, had already responded, and I liked the responses. So I said, those were good responses. All right, cool. So I kept going. And then I get to this Caucasian woman, and I wish I could remember exactly what she said. But that rose my blood pressure higher than what he responded. So it had to be worse. So I responded to her. Because she basically was saying the same thing. I wish I could remember, y'all. I really do.
I feel like it had...
So, I had to look this up, y'all, because I was like, you know what? I got time today for these comments. So, it was a male that responded and said, if people would stop breaking the law, committing crimes, resisting, and running from police, trying to get away from being arrested for the crime they committed or pulling a knife or gun, maybe you will not be shot. And then... a female responded and basically was like, actually someone else said, you're part of the problem that doesn't even make sense. What does running from something mean you have to be murdered? Mm-hmm. And I was like, clap, love that. And then this female responded and said, no, you're part of the problem. Your comment shows that resistance means a criminal action. Comply and live. And so I responded and said, people comply and still die. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. And then she responded and said, not to the exaggerated numbers being told, not to only blacks. That is the issue. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Inaccurate rhetoric and irresponsible behavior after an incident. Learn accurate information. So y'all know at that point I had time. Cause bitch, hold up. You ain't gonna tell me to learn accurate information. Hold on, let me put you on. So then other people responded and I said, okay, I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to give a very simple response. And I thought mine was good.
Simple answer for simple people.
You know? And I just said, if you're trying to say that in your original, if you're trying to state that in your original comment, you need to change it because she was trying, what she said in her original comment was not what she was responding to. Just saying, but what is trying to be conveyed by the information provided is that blacks are not cared about. So that is what is being talked about. You need to learn accurate information. That's all. And please do not, I said no need to reply back because there's no need. I don't give a fuck about your response at this point. But the point is that black people and people of color are not cared about in the sense of other races. Mm-hmm. So if a black person is to die by a shooting, the first thing is, what did that black person do? If a Caucasian person is to die by shooting is, well, they had mental issues. If an Asian person is to die by shooting, well, you know, maybe it was this, or maybe it was because of the hate crime. Or if a Hispanic is to die by this, it was maybe because they're a illegal immigrant. No, motherfucker. It has nothing to do with it. Mm-hmm. So that is the problem. And I just had to say that, but yes. So I had time yesterday to give somebody a lesson, and that just severely irritates me when people are like, well, they should have complied. People comply all the motherfucking time and still get shot.
Absolutely.
The person that was in the car, and I don't want to say the name because I think I have the name, but I don't want to say it and be wrong. But the one that it was a gentleman that they asked, well, he told him that he had a gun in the vehicle. He wasn't doing anything with it.
Philandro?
I believe so. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to say the wrong name, but yes, had a gun, and they asked him for his motherfucking ID and his motherfucking registration. And where do most people keep the registration?
In the glove compartment.
And guess what? I get shot because I'm reaching for the shit that you asked me for. Bitch, I'm complying, but you still shoot and kill me. That makes no goddamn sense.
Yeah. The part that all of them always strike a chord, but his specifically because, if I'm not mistaken, he worked in the school system.
I believe so.
He was like he worked in the cafeteria. Mm-hmm.
But how you gonna ask me to do something? I don't give a fuck where he worked.
Yes. It's like what he does, like for the person. So that where it plays a part. It doesn't, but like the picture they try to paint these people as like
criminals,
black
and all
people.
That.
They try to paint them as criminals and this that. He literally worked with children every day. Mm-hmm. He was children's person they see every day. Mm-hmm. It's just crazy. Mm-hmm.
But Caucasian person can do the same motherfucking thing, and guess what?
Yes. They recently just released a video of this white man going on some type of weird, I don't know if it was a drug-induced mental state, but wielding a knife, almost like a machete at an officer. Absolutely no type of recourse, in terms of
death,
combativeness, physical taser, nothing. And what also drives me crazy, I saw something the other day. White people hear me. White people hear me clear. Stop putting up statistics that show white people being killed more than black people when your stats show 109 people of being white killed and 89 black people killed within this year. What I want you to hear me say is that white people overly populate this country. So for one, you should see more white people be killed versus black people, but those numbers should not be so close. 80 some to 100 and some, like 110 some, should not be that close when white people dominate how many people of color, specifically black people, are in this country.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be that close. So for you to say more white people have been killed than more black people in this country have been killed is complete bullshit. For one, we outnumber people. So
if you do the math,
simple math,
wrong.
that
Mm-hmm.
should, like, more white people should on average, but more in leaps and bounds should be killed more than black people. Not just in like the vicinity of 2030, because we outnumber people so much. Hear me fucking clear on that. If I ever see that again. Because that is just like propaganda trying to like purposely sway somebody to feel a certain way or to guide away from what the real issue is.
Which is the death of black people and it not being, and it being at the capacity that it is, which it should not be. It shouldn't be death of any people. So I just want to make sure to state that because I don't want anybody to say blah, blah, blah. But more for me, well, one, I'm black. So I have to care about me and also my son. My son will grow up to be a black man. Mm-hmm. So those are things that I have to care about. Just like Asians, they take care of their people and their family. Asians are very tight in their community. White people, even, for the most part, are very tight in their community. Unfortunately, for black people, we are not. We have been trained not to be. We have always been pitted against each other, etc. And so we are trained to be against each other, period. And we are not together as in the other races or whatever you want to call them. And so for me, I, again, as I said before, sue me, I vote for everybody that's black. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I will always be discussing. Yes, there are crimes that happen in other communities. Yes, there are deaths that happen in other communities. But my community is black.
But in the proportion that even happens to black people. Yes. Like the crimes that are happening in other communities are still, specifically when we talk about police brutality, mm-hmm. are not happening at the proportion same rate. Exactly mm-hmm. that's happening to the black community.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So
it's ridiculous. And then y'all putting up these, and I'm glad you spoke on that because I see people put that shit. I had a conversation one day with someone, a Caucasian lady on Facebook, Face of the Book. Again, apparently, some days I just have time for it. And so that day I had time, this was like a while ago, and she put that up, and I basically said the same thing. I said, y'all are literally like majority of the population. So if you want to be accurate, the information is not, like, it shouldn't be that close. Like, if there's 100 deaths in the white community, then there should not be 85 in the black. That means absolutely that we are only what? How many percent?
When it comes to proportionality and percentages, yes. that is way over than what it should be.
Exactly.
It's way over.
We are past what you
You can skew the numbers to make it be what you want to be, regardless. That's what, at the end of the day, you can make the numbers be what you want. That's almost like what the Tommy Lauren girl or whatever, the person who always wants to like shout out and throw statistics.
Oh, she gets runners.
You can skew it to be what you want to be at the end of the day, regardless. Mm-hmm. But when you want to think from a place of coming from curious and not coming from a place that wants to demonize another party or another person or other people, then you understand that those are meant to try to incite people. Mm-hmm. Like, just don't fall for it. Just don't be the individual thinker to be able to think outside of that and understand. And if you also, I'm just going to say this very plainly, if you surround yourself with other, like, only white people, that's mainly the problem as to why you only think that one individual way. I'm just going to put that there.
Boom, mic drop. That's it.
I just don't understand how you can think any other way.
Well,
but there is, educate yourself. Don't be in that one box that allows you to only consume what you're being fed. Mm-hmm. Allow yourself to investigate and to be more than what
is being provided to you.
Absolutely.
In a little bit.
Absolutely.
And if you want to ask, I'm always here. FeBaybeee is here. We open, and you can always ask us a question. Hey, I don't understand X, Y, and Z. I have no problem answering it. You just have to know that Velvet will always be honest and upfront and very forward. So I will give it to you as nice and plainly as I can. However, I'm always be me. So, that's all I got.
Yeah,
and you just have to do research.
And neither of us are above reprieve.
Exactly. We could be wrong on some shit, and I'll be like, oh, shit, I was wrong. My bad. Because I think even before we said something wrong and we came back the next week and was like, y'all, we said that wrong. That wasn't it. Absolutely. And that's fine. And we always going to learn as well. But that's a part of growing.
Yes.
Just like you tell your child, if you have children, a part of growing is learning. You have to be able to learn. You have to also be able to sit there and listen and not have to have a response back, which is what you also tell your children. Because I tell my son that all the time. If I am telling you something, don't be like, ooh, I'm going to respond back to this. Because I can see it in your eyes when they start to move. I already know that you're thinking about something. But instead of listening, opening these lovely ears that God gave you, because he gave you 2 ears and 1
mouth. So
listen with them lovely ears and get an understanding what's happening. Do your own research, and then you can come back. And then you can say, you know what, I found X, Y, and Z. I still may believe this, but blah, blah, blah here. But you're not doing that. You're just saying, you know, this is how it should be.
Yes.
That's white supremacy, period.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of it.
Privilege.
Yes, that piece. And that was the officer's name for George Floyd. He really thought he was going to get off. You could see the privilege out his face. It came, it was like... But I'm
white.
Yeah.
Guilty. But I'm guilty. But I'm guilty. But I'm... What? Guilty.
And that was the white privilege. And he realized at that point that it was over.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the new movie that came out over the weekend. Oh my God. Mortal Kombat. What did they say when you die? KO. No, just KO.
Finish him.
Finish him. Just like that. And it was over. So you got to realize that it ain't for it. And one day we're going to be talking about what black people should be getting, because we were supposed to be owed some 40 acres and a mule. And that needs to be the next forefront after these other things, because y'all keep promising shit and y'all keep giving shit to other communities,
yes,
and not to the black community. Because I hear that there is now an Asian hate crime bill. Is there a African American hate crime bill? I didn't motherfucking think so.
Yes.
Because if there is, baby, I don't know what that motherfucker is. But how Asians get, and nothing against it, so I'm going to put that out there, so I blah, blah, blah. But where the fuck is the African American motherfucking, or black, or however the fuck you want to state it? Where is our hate crime bill? I would like to see it. Is it for 19, not a damn time? Is that what it is? Okay. Because I actually looked it up before we started the podcast. Like, let me just make sure, because maybe I just didn't know there was one, but I didn't see it. So is there one?
Not to my knowledge.
If I'm wrong, let us know.
There have been a lot of people who campaigned on what the reparations would look like for. I would love to save this specific topic and what reparations looks like and what you would want in the form of reparations. I want to hold that topic.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I would like to hold that topic for a guest as well.
Okay. I think I have a perfect one.
Perfect. So I want to hold that topic for a guest on what reparations would look like and what you would feel like would be justified based on what would be offered. The different options that are available, what you prefer the option to be. So just hold that. I want to dive more deeply into that. So let's hold.
But I'm really curious on where this African American hate crime bill is coming in. So someone let me know.
If and when.
Never.
That is unfortunately.
So how they get one after a year?
Yes.
If even a year of whatever the fuck they're saying is going on, how can they get one and we be going through shit for how many years?
Every day.
Since we've been dragged on this motherfucking country.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just confused on how people. That's all I got. I wish y'all could see what I'm doing. But, we had technical difficulties and you can't see my face. But I really would love to know how other people and groups are getting things that we should have been had.
Right.
So why are we not? That's another topic. I'm done. Go ahead. What are we talking about next? I'm done.
So we gonna switch. Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So H.E.R.
Yes,
came through with a whole new whole new video.
Oh, I didn't even see the video. I heard the song though.
Then I fucked up. She came through with a whole new song. Okay. I said music, and then I said music video.
Baby.
H.E.R. came through with a whole new song called "Come Through."
Come Through with Christopher Brown, Mr. Chris Brown on it. But he be having bangers, so yeah.
So I feel like this is her kind of breaking just a little bit, because I won't say that I've heard her in. So there's been songs, but not as direct as "Come Through." "Come Through." She was telling Chris, "Come through."
Come through and get these draws.
And like even so she didn't release a video, but she did release like a imagery to it, and it's kind of like her hair is like wet, and she's showing a lot more skin that she has. Okay. She's kind of this like dark light, and it's just like she looks the fuck good.
Do the damn thing. She was seductive. You heard?
Yes.
She said, "Baby, I'm coming through with all of it. The wet hair, the shirt off the shoulder, showing some skin.
Yes.
I'm giving you face. I'm giving you body. You know,
glasses
just like
off. Glasses off.
And you know when she pulled the glasses off, it's on and popping. She said, "You gonna see these abs. You gonna see these curves."
So I'm waiting. This is what I really want from Chris.
A video.
I want an album with a female. He's had a song with LMA. It's called Whatchamacallit. Well, I wasn't a huge fan of the song itself because it's a whatchamacallit. While I'm not a huge fan of the song itself, but I think their voices are amazing. I think Chris's and hers voice would be amazing. I'm waiting for Chris to do an album with a woman.
I would love to hear a Chris and Jasmine Sullivan song. I ain't gonna front on it. I don't know how it would be, but I just want to hear it.
And I feel like
because she's very powerful, so I don't know, but I just want to be able to be in a generation where I can hear it.
Bryson and Jasmine would be great. Like after Insecure, I'm talking about an album. Like I want a body. Like I want a whole album. I want an album.
I just want to hear a song, and then I'll determine which one out of them. I love her, so I'm always down for her and a Chris Brown. Anything, LMA cool or whatever. I wouldn't listen to the album.
I love LMA, so V can have her reservations. I love LMA.
Yeah, LMA is good. She sings and stuff. But I definitely would choose her over LMA. So if it was my choice out of those two, I would definitely do a her and Chris Brown album.
I just want a male-female duo album in general. Like I just want an album with a good vocal male and a good vocal female.
I would
tear it up, and not to be Big Sean and Jhené Aiko.
Theirs was good. Sing though, so yeah, I would like a more of a both of them singing. So I'm down for her and Chris. We putting this on, so if y'all do it, go ahead and run us this check or whatever. And I'm also down for Jasmine Sullivan with some dude. I don't even care who it is, but I love me some Jasmine.
I really think after hearing her with him on Insecure,
and I love that fucking song.
I think they would do so well with an album.
Yes. Yeah,
I definitely, because I think her and Bryson had a song, and I didn't like it as much as I liked Jasmine and Bryson's song.
I don't know if I heard. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
Yes. I think I like Jasmine and Bryson's way more. I'm ready for a good R&B female with a good R&B male to be together.
Tweet it.
Yes.
We're going to tweet it, y'all, or something. I don't really be on Twitter like that.
Maybe I need to reactivate, but Twitter made me a vicious person, so I don't know.
You should tweet it under we need to create one and tweet it under that. Okay. And then that will also get us.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So we're going to tweet it, and then y'all need to go ahead and comment on our stuff and start fucking reposting it. So maybe, we get these coins or whatever. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into our topic of the day, which is sex without sight or
sex without sound.
Yeah. So, am I going first? You going first? What are we doing?
I want to hear you. I feel like you posed the question to me first. Let me hear what you got to say.
I would prefer sex without sight.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a sound person. Like I need noises. So even when, and then you make noises. What's going on? So even like, yeah. So during, I have to have sound. So if you're not making sound, it's awkward for me. I just don't like it. And if you're faking, I will know, and that's a no-go as well. So it has to be a genuine sound, but at least something. I don't need you just sitting there silent like this. Oh my God. I'm just like what the fuck, what's going on? Is it good? Is it not? Like, I can't tell. I don't know. But then of course you have a finish, and I'm just like, this was awkward. I don't like it.
Yes.
And I had to tell someone that before. I was like, I don't. Actually, in the middle, I just stopped and said, bro, this is not working for me. Because I think noise also gets me into it. Like, okay, yeah. But, maybe I want to do a trick or something. You over there making noises like that? Okay. You pumping me up. But you just silent. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm good without sight. I can still do stuff without sight. Close my eyes and, hey, jiggle, jiggle.
Yeah. I think I would have to agree with you on that. Like, even the most minuscule sounds, like breathing. Mm-hmm. Yes. I feel like everything goes in. Yes. I feel like, because I do feel like I've had relations before where the person didn't make much sound at all, even when they came. And I was like, huh?
Did you come or are you faking? Let me see that condom.
And they didn't. I was like, that's not sexy to me. Like, I didn't get to hear the arousal in you. Like, yeah, like I like to hear when someone comes, I like to hear that sound.
Especially when they're about to come. Yes. You can tell, like.
I like to hear, like, the racing in your breath. I like to hear, like, there's just something about, because for me, sex is more about touch and audio in general. It's not as much about sight for me.
Yeah. Some people need the sight, because some people really like you to look in their eyes and stuff, which is all fine and dandy.
But for me, myself, and I...
In fact, and me, myself, and I...
The touch and the audio is just really what gets me. It's what keeps me sustained.
And so, the crazy thing is, I can't really say that I was really a touch person before. Like, it was just, bam, bam, bam. I needed sound. I've always needed sound. But bam, 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 and be done. But I've definitely, over, I would say, the last couple of years, have gotten more into touching. Like, them touching me touching them. Because before, like, I wouldn't really touch them. Like, of course, unless doing certain things. But it wouldn't be like a caress or a rub or
wouldn't be up and down the arms.
Yeah, none of that. I wouldn't do any of that.
Neck, stuff like that. Yeah.
I had to realize that was something that I liked. So, even at older ages, y'all get to learn yourselves, your bodies.
Ooh, so I got a better question. Which of the senses is most important to you during sex? Sight, smell, touch, sound. I think those are the main ones.
So the most important one?
Between sight, sound, touch, smell.
Sound.
Okay. I think I'm gonna roll with touch.
Yeah. Sound is, like, very, very important.
I think it's touch then sound for me, but I think touch ranks the highest. Because
I also smell, like, so hold on. What do you mean?
Well, I know you smell, bitch. But, like, on the hierarchy of, like, what is most, like, what arouses you most?
Arouses me. Okay. Yes. I was just thinking smells. I don't want it to be funky now.
No. Okay. But, like, the smell of you, like, the hormones.
Sound is literally number one, period. Just, I have to have sound. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it starts with touch for me. Like, I like touching, like, I like, it's very sensual for me. I like touching a lot during sex. Whether that just be like the back, the arms, the legs. Like, and I like to be touched a lot during sex. And then then comes the sound piece for me.
Yeah. I think it'll be sound, you said touch.
Sound, touch, smell, visual.
Yeah. Sound, touch, visual, smell. Visual is like whatever.
Yeah, I think visual.
It depends. I think visual and touch. I think I more enjoy touch now, I would probably say, than before. I probably would have definitely said visual, like being able to see them, because I like to watch when they come. That I don't know, there's something, but yeah, I like to watch when they're, like, the faces they make, even when, like, they're having sex, like the faces you make and stuff like that. I don't know. So I don't know. Those might be a little bit on the tied in, but touching is important.
Yeah. The touch is definitely
there.
My love languages of sex is touch.
Oh, mine is, I guess, hearing. Sound.
Is that when we say sound? Is that like talking during sex? Is that like the breathing? Is that like what's
all of it?
Okay.
You don't have to talk during sex, but that definitely is a turn on depending on what you're saying. But even just the sound that you make, like either the grunting or the moaning or the that
breathing.
Yeah. Because then I'm like, okay, he in that shit. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could have saw our face at that moment. Damn technical difficulties.
Yeah.
That'd have been a good one. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's about it for me. Sorry, this has been a long one, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging in.
Yes. We definitely, there's been a lot that we went through, had to get through, but I like when we're able to expound upon enough to be able to give y'all longer podcasts. I know I'm a fan of longer podcasts. It helps me get me through my day. So I'm happy when we're able to give y'all the longer podcasts. You know, it can get you through your day, get you through your ride home from work.
Get a little laugh here, you know, a deep conversation. Some crazy shit.
Or express how you feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let us know, y'all, in the comments, which one do you like more? Do you like sound? Or do you like, do you prefer sound? Or do you prefer sight? Like, which one, if you had to give up, which one are you giving up? Let us know. Let's see if we can take this poll and see.
I'm going to put it up on the page. Yeah. So, _I_was_Sayin. Make sure you follow. I'm going to be putting up a poll so we can understand what you're feeling.
Yeah. Let's see if
we going to post it. Let us know.
Yeah. Let's see if it's in there. What's y'all's sex love language, you know? Do you like the touch?
That is a whole love language for sex.
Do you like the, what was the other one? The smell. Do you like the, I guess we forgot taste. You forgot that one. Do you like the lick on them? Suck on them. So I don't know, is that a part of touching though? So touching would more so be hands, or like if I kiss his neck, is that touching, or is that more so of tasting? What do you think?
The vulnerable state I'm in right now, I'm not sure if I can answer that.
Hold on, what?
I'm in a real vulnerable state right now to be answering these questions.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead. You know, thank y'all for tuning in to Like I Was Saying podcast with your girl
FeBaybeee
and your girl Velvet. And
just remember, life is tough, my dear, but so are
you. And just remember, each of you are beautiful, and to never stay what?
Stagnant
in your motherfucking life. Bye. Oh, just kidding. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Got you. Bye.